Hey guys, this is Mark Hart. I'm going to do a video showing you guys how to do Vertex modifications for DOA5. Okay. Um, I was really hoping to get to be making a video showing you guys how to import your own character models, but I'm just moving really slow on the format, and it could be a while. And I was playing like Halo 4 for a while and stuff, so I can imagine probably a lot of you guys are playing like uh, what's out now, like Black Ops 2 and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm sure playing Dead or Alive 5 is like the last thing a lot of you guys want to do. So I figured I might as well put this out before it's too late. So in this video, I'm just going to show you guys how to do the basics of Vertex modding. Vertex modding is so cheap and easy. So yeah, I'll be showing you guys how to do that. And so hopefully anybody slightly still interested can pick it up and start sharing some cool mods, because it's always cool seeing people make stuff. So anyway, I hope somebody takes it and does some stuff with it, but they don't, whatever. So yeah, this is just going to show you guys how to Vertex edit and inject textures. Alright, so yeah, let's get started. This file here is a DLC file. DLC, so you download it and it goes to your Xbox. Okay. So right away, because we're editing the DLC, you're gonna need a modded Xbox 360. So anything with a JTAG hack or a reset glitch hack installed. Okay, if you guys have DVD firmware mod installed, I don't believe you can do this. You can go ahead and try. Some people are like, "Can I do this? I got about a DVD drive." I'm like, I don't know. So anyway, all I know is I have a JTAG, and the reset glitch hacked console should be the same. So you need that, and you will probably need the SDK, and you'll probably need a whole bunch of other stuff. To do this stuff, you're going to have to be familiar with hexing a file and using command line. Okay, I just wanted to get that out there right now because that's what we're going to be getting into. Right, so yeah, if you get a modded Xbox 360, you can pretty much copy this with an FPT. Right now I have Dash Launch installed, and I have an FPT plugin active, so I can actively FPT anywhere, anytime, while the box is on, the Xbox is on. So right now this is where your DLC would be stored if you're looking for it. It'd be under your HD, under the content folder, under the I don't know how many zeros that is, but a lot of zeros, and then the actual, this is the North American folder, by the way. This is 4B5607DA, and then 0000002 is like the DLC folder. All right. So this is a DLC here. This is just one I was practicing with. I just deleted it. Not like I need it, so get rid of that. Oh, I can't delete it. Oh. Let's see here. Shoot. There we go. The game. All right. Okay, so I got my Xbox up here on just the capture card. I'll get back to this in a minute. Okay. I just want to delete this DLC. Goodbye. Okay. So that's where you get your DLC. You can bring it here, and then what you want to do is you want to unpack it to edit the files. So what I usually use is I use this French guy's tool. It's called WX or something like that. Okay, I'm just gonna open that up for here. It's got a nice GUI to it. So these files, I'm just gonna select them and right-click and export them. Okay, just hit OK, and it'll dump to the active folder. So after that, you can just close it. Okay, so these are the 4 DLC files. Okay, when we want to repack these, we'll have to hex edit them into a hex editor. So you can open it in a hex editor now if you want. I don't care. I'm just gonna get it ready. So throw it in there. So what we want to do is we want to open up the model first. So we're gonna use some tools here. By the way, these BMS files are created by Chris or Crocs. Sorry. Crocs did all the major hacking on DOA5. He killed the demo, and then the final game came out, and he killed the final game. So, respects to him, he did pretty much all the work. So yeah, we're going to be using his scripts here. These allow us to unpack the files. So BMS is basically it's a script-based format which you could I guess you could just make extractors with. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to launch Quick BMS, and it's going to ask us for an input script. Load the script up, and then it asks for a target file. Open a file, and then it unpacks it, which is what it basically does. So we're going to open up Quick BMS. Okay, run it. It's going to ask for one of these. These scripts are, of course, posted on ntax by Crocs. This one, it was called DOA5 underscore demo. I renamed it because it kept confusing me. I guess he made these scripts while he had the demo, so that's why it was called demo. But I renamed it to LNK. But if you find the one that says DOA5 demo, it's the same thing. Okay, so I'm just going to open that, and now I have to find the file I want to extract, which is the bin file here. Okay, there's a bunch of files in there. Just click on bin and then hit open. Then it's going to ask you to save, and you want to save it somewhere you're going to know, so we'll save it to the same folder. Okay, it makes an output folder, and there it is. So those are the files. I don't know if you noticed yet, but yeah, the file names are kind of like goofy looking. I figured Tecmo kind of like scrambled their names so you couldn't see what's going on. I'm not sure if this was a security measure or if they just wanted to hide what they were doing. I say that because all the new DLC we keep getting, when I search the encrypted name in the main executable, those names keep reappearing. So my guess is all this DLC was actually a part of the game originally, and some guy was just like, "Hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take all this DLC out, and we're gonna charge it. We're gonna charge it for a hard price, like a high price for every swimsuit or whatever." So that's what it really seems like, because all the DLC is actually, it's the character names and stuff, they're in the main game, but the content isn't. So the content was a part of the game to begin with, so they ripped it out at the end. So anyway, yeah, I'm not sure if they did that to kind of hide it, because when the demo came out, a few guys ripped it apart and like, look at that, they got Tengu in there. Oh, look, they got that in there. Oh, they got that in there. And maybe that just kind of peeved off Tecmo, so they encrypted their names. So yeah, what we did to remedy this is Croc started a public spreadsheet, and people just kind of contributed their logical names. So if I found this file was like Kazumi or something, I would put it up on the spreadsheet. This is Kazumi, blah blah blah. So we gave it logical names. Of course, I converted that spreadsheet to a little Mac script that I could use, and this just allows me to rename stuff on the fly. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute. Right now, these files have to be further processed. They're actually compressed, so we're gonna decompress them. So we have to go back and boot up the other script. So quick BMS again. Yeah, run it. Oops. Okay, so we're going to be using the DOA5 extract BMS. Hit open. Okay, and select all the files here. Okay. I'm going to actually go back and create a folder called decompressed. I'm going to save those there. Okay, so this works pretty quickly. So these are the files decompressed. You're going to notice that there's only 6 here, as before there was 12. Basically, some of these files are not compressed; they're already decompressed. So Crocs' script is basically just decompressing only the ones that are compressed. So that's why you have less files. And then the last step we have to do is we have to decrypt them. A part of Tecmo's compression is they incorporated some kind of XORing type of encryption. I don't know, but we have to also decrypt them. So again, quick BMS, run it. This time we're going to use the one that says DOA5 decrypt. Okay, and we're going to hop back over here. Again, select the files, hit open. Okay, I'm going to go back and call these decrypted. Save there. Okay, so the decrypted files. Oh, by the way, this thing takes a bit of time. Oh, wait, this is an old window. Old window. There it is. So this thing's still processing, actually. Quick BMS doesn't really seem to be working well with the decryption algorithm there. Takes a bit of time, but there's only like 6 files, so it's gonna be done in a second. Yes, okay. So these are our files. They are raw. They're not encrypted or whatever. So if you open it up in Hex Editor, you can see some character strings and stuff like that. So yeah, these are good to work with. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my Mac script to convert them to logical names. I'm just going to launch this script called name tracker. Okay, I can switch between logical names and encrypted names here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate rename mode. So hit rename mode. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay. Then you just have to select one of the files. Doesn't matter which one. Hit OK. And it says it renamed 6 files. Okay. So there you go. Logical names. If you want to rename it back, just go to switch view. Okay. So you're viewing encrypted names, so it's going to convert it back to encrypted names. So rename. Rename. All right. So you can convert it back and forth. Switch view again. Yes. 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 All right. Right, so these are files, and they are now decrypted and all other cool fun stuff. Now, what else can you do? You can actually use Gnosis. Gnosis is it's kind of like a model viewing program. Well, it is a model viewing program. Yeah, you can use it to view models. We're going to use this, and again, Crox's script for Gnosis to allow us to view the DOA5 model. So we're just going to hit open. And I'm just going to open up one of the TMCs. Okay. I should also explain this. There's a TMC, there's a TML. They work in relation to each other. You notice the file size between them is quite different. Oops. Wow. Oh, I hate that window shaking shit. Okay. We got this one that's 60 kilobytes and then versus this one that's almost 7 megabytes. This TMC is a catalog file. It's basically describing this file here, which I would consider to call a dump file. So basically they dump a bunch of raw data into this file with no structure, and then all the structure is in the TMC, which describes this file here. Okay, so it's, I don't know, they could have just made it one file. I don't know why they had to make it a pain in the ass by making 2 files, but you need 2 files to open up a model, and they have to be the same name. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So anyway, I use Gnosis, and I can just browse around the models. So you can probably notice by now that this is the DLC is the bunny pack. It offers 3 bunny costumes in white for Hitomi, Kazumi, and Li Feng. And you probably notice that the bodies are probably exactly the same. I think, and one of them gets a little fatter. I think. Actually, in this case, the neck just kind of extends up. It's kind of weak. It's pretty weak. They're charging money for this, and it's really weak. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just modify. I'm gonna modify Li Feng. So what we have to do is bring that in 3ds Max. So back over here, the Max script for importing. Close that now. Will be this thing called TMC Praiser. I've been trying to restructure my script a bit, and it's going really slow. But right now, model import works. So let me just check the flags here. False, false, true for build model, false, false. Leave it on. Okay, I'm just going to run this. Right now I just have it opened up in the editor. Otherwise you can just drag and drop it, it'll run it. But I don't recommend that. Just open it up so you can edit the flags if you need need be. And then the execute, just go to tools and go to evaluate. Or the hotkey is Control E. So Control E. Okay. It's going to ask for a file. I'm going to open up Li Feng's. Hit open. Okay. Just going to take a sec to load it up. And it'll just appear like magic. Alright. So there's Li Feng. I'm just going to expand the window here. The skinning is disabled right now because I didn't import it. We're going to hide this. There's a second mesh here. We don't want it. And the bones are of no interest to us. So delete. Okay, now hide that. So we just have one object. And how this works is I import the mesh and I tack on the information in the user section, which is just, we can leave like comments and stuff. Inside the comments section is actually the address information for where to put the data back into the TMCL. Okay, so if you do something like clone the object or export it out, then import it back in, it's not going to work because you're going to lose that commenting information. So one way is you just copy it, and then bring it over to another mesh. Okay, but keep in mind with Vertex injection, You can't delete anything. You can't add anything. It's basically you can only edit what's existing there. So I can take her arm and like move it, and then that's it. Okay, I can't delete it. Okay, that's wrong. It won't work after that. Okay, so keep that in mind. Another thing you can't do is you can't convert it from editable mesh. So I can't convert it to patch, can't convert it to polygon. It has to stay at all times editable mesh. Okay. The one thing you can do is you can add like editable mesh modifiers to it. So I can add that, and I can do modifications. And if I don't like it, I can remove it. All right. So that's the only thing you can add is the editable mesh modifier. It's the only thing you can add. Okay. So with this modification, this demonstration, I'm just gonna do a simple Zero Suit Samus modification. So earlier I made a texture mod. I already swizzled it up. I'll get into that in a minute. So just for this demonstration, I'm gonna take some of this stuff away, kind of give her more of a bare mesh, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of the shoes and stuff. Let's see. Let's do this in a smart way. Let's select everything using that material. Alright, I'm gonna invert. Where's invert? Okay, so like I said, you can't delete nothing. So the only way to hide stuff is to like shrink it down to like small. So I'm gonna just scale this by a factor of 0, which would make everything the same. And then we're just gonna take these 2 points, which are actually more than just 2 points, but the shoes are now there. So yeah. Oops. Put them in the center of the foot, and there we go. So the shoe is now. Well, it's not gone, but it's just really small and you can't see it anywhere. Okay. Might want to edit the position of the foot now since I moved the shoe out of the way. Let's see, screen. Alright, and do the same with the other ball of the foot. Ooh, I kind of messed it up. Whatever, I'm not much of a perfectionist, so screw that. Right, and then this thing here. Let's see here. This is tricky. There we go. Okay, so again, we're gonna shrink this down to pea size, and we're gonna hide it inside the mesh, or inside the body, I guess. I'm just gonna move that into there. It's so small, I don't even know where the heck it went. So, all right, so that's good enough. All right, so that's one modification. That may not be enough proof for you guys, so I'm gonna. Let's see, we can just get rid of this weird nut thing on the back. I don't know what the hell it is, a tail, I guess. Shrink it down. Whoa. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna like leave that there. Alright, whatever. And just for the shits and giggles, we'll just make our boobs really big, because that's just something classic we gotta do. Alright, so let's see here. Scaling tool. Pivot point. Holy shit, that's horrible. I just can't believe how ridiculous that looks. That's retarded. Okay, that was probably a really horrible idea. That's actually kind of makes me want to vomit. Yeah, that's good enough. That's too much is too much. So good. All right, so yeah, we just did some vertex or vertice mods and whatever, or vertex mods. There we go. So yeah, now if we want to put that back in, we're gonna use the other script I wrote called stick it back. Okay, so we're gonna run that. We're just gonna open up the target TMCL. Okay, it's gonna say you're gonna overwrite. Yeah, whatever. So we're gonna import the vertices. Oh, yeah, you gotta select the model and then hit inject, and then that's it. So now if we go view this in Gnosis, don't click on Leafang, you can see that our changes have taken place. So the shoes are gone. Obviously, you can see the shoes are gone, and tail's kind of squished in, whatever. So yeah, that's that. Now texture mods. If you want to export the textures, you have to go in the script, back to the import script, and enable dump DDS textures. Okay. We're not going to be using the SDK because the SDK doesn't seem to handle the 3D textures that they're using for sweat animation. So that's why I went this route, dumping the raw files. For now, I'm gonna dump it using the old script because I think it doesn't work in the new one. I didn't try it yet. So this is on true. This is on false. Okay. So I'm gonna run this on Leafang's file. And what that's going to do is it's going to make another folder, and it's going to dump all the textures into it. Okay, I'm going to try and preview this. Not all of them seem to work with my plugin, so that kind of sucks. Right, so I'm just going to do a simple mod. I'm going to edit the body. How you're going to edit the stuff is you're going to open it up, and it's going to look all tiled. The reason for that is the XBOX360, to get some speed out of it, what we do is we pre-process the textures so that they're in a data arrangement that's quicker for the machine to pick up and send to the graphics processor or whatever. So that's what they call predicted tiling, and that's why the textures look messed up. To untile them, we're just going to use an old tool that a friend made for me when I was doing stuff on DOA5. At that point, I had literally no experience with any type of scripting or whatever, so he wrote this tool to try and interpret what I was trying to tell him. What I did to untile these was I bring them to Paint Shop and I rearranged the pixels pretty much one by one, which was really tedious. So what he did was he made this little thing, and I can put my pixel order into a profile, and I can load the profile up to do a pixel rearranging operation for myself. So this was just basically a testing tool way back there in 2006, I think. But we're going to be using this to edit the textures for DOA5. Okay. One thing is this is a really old tool. He made it under Windows XP. So if you're running it in Windows 7 or 8, you're going to be missing drivers, and it's going to be complaining about missing drivers. I don't remember which driver it needs, but I'm sure somebody will figure it out, and they'll share the drivers and whatever. Anyways, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna open up this one here. It's a DXT5, and it's 1,000 pixels, or 1,024 pixels times, well, it's square, so it's gonna be 1,024 times 1,024. So I'm gonna use a profile for DXT5, 1,000 by 1,000, whatever. All right. This one I took out the DXT descriptions. It's only BBP4 and BBP8. Basically, BBP4 is your DXT1 and your ATI1. Then your BBP8 is your DXT3, DXT5, and ATI2. Okay, they do those type of compressions. So this one's a DXT5, so it's BBP8, and it's 1,000 by 1,000. So 1,024 by 1,024. Right, so I select the right profile, and then I need to select the texture. Alright, there it is. Open it up. Preview. And there it is. Okay, so I can hit save, and it'll dump it out. Okay, I can edit it any way I want to. Save it back, and also be aware when you save it back, you have to save it back as the same type. So bring it to Photoshop, save it, you have to save it as DXT5. Okay, don't save it as DXT1 or some kind of wacky compression. You have to save it back as DXT5, and it has to be the same dimensions, so 1024 times 1024. Okay, and then when you're ready to put it back in the game, you gotta where'd it go? Right, you gotta use this thing, and you gotta retile it. So you gotta go back to the bottom, and it says tile, and then tile for BBP8 1000 by whatever. So this is the one we untiled. I can open it, I can preview it, and I can save it. Alright, so this has been retiled. Alright, and here's the original. So you can see that the original and the reprocessed one are identical. So yeah, that's how you're gonna edit the textures. The only problem is when you put these textures back in, the MIP level information gets destroyed, or it doesn't get carried over. Because of that, you're gonna have distance issues. So you're gonna have to patch the TMC. Okay, so I'm going to show you that after I inject a texture. So to inject a texture, you have to retain the name. The name here is describing the address to dump it to, the compression, and the type of texture it is. I didn't really talk too much about the texture types, but there's a morphable texture here, this 3D one, which is ATI2, so that's BBP8. So this is for, I think I nailed that. I think I named that wrong. DXT 2D, it's actually 3D. Oh, no, wait. ATI2, wait. Oh, this is tile, wait. BBP8, untile. This one. Yeah. So yeah, it does the 3D texture. It's called 3D texture, but it's actually a morphable texture. So this left side is the first level, and the second side is the second level, the right side. So this is morphable. So in the game, it would be this one, and then it morphed to the second one, kind of thing. So I used the DDS raw dump method just so I could work more with the 3D textures. We don't have any idea how it works with the SDK. So that's why I've done it this way. So anyway, we can edit those ones, but right now I'm just gonna demonstrate just the normal one. So yeah, back to what I was saying. The file names, you can't change them. If you want to import this into the game, it has to be the same name. You can type anything after it. Okay, it doesn't matter, but you can't edit the beginning of the file name. So don't touch that. So, I already created a texture before this video started, which is my Zero Suit one. I retiled it and whatever, so I'm going to import that one into Leaf Fang. So, demonstrate that, I'm going to hit Import Texture. Okay, again, like I said, this is the information telling the script where to put it. Okay, I put after the file name, new mod. Okay, so that doesn't matter what comes after this stuff. So, hit open. Okay, it is like a couple megabytes, so it takes a couple, whatever, and it's good. Alright, so now if I go back into Gnosis, I can check it up. And there you go, so now she's all blue and stuff. Okay, so that's a demonstration of the Vertex mod and the texture mod. Alright, so the last thing is, we're just going to have to patch the TMC. So I'm going to use my Hex Editor here, and I'm going to open up the TMC. Yes. Toss that into here. Okay, you're gonna search for a string called TTX in all caps. Okay, and it's gonna bring it down to this section here. Okay, we'll just fix this. This is the TX. I don't know what it stands for, but this is where the textures are, and it's using just a normal expression to package from the SDK. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna nullify the MIP level count. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna find the entries, which is I believe they begin here. How this works is this is the header XBR2, and then it gives us a count and stuff, and then we have entries. This is really bad. Wait. There we go. Reline that. Alright. So this is the entries. So, for example, this one's saying the first entry is at this address. So starting from this, after the header of XPR2, we can jump from that location, from current position, and it brings us to the first entry. Alright, and each entry is 34 long. So from this entry we can jump 34, and it brings us to the next entry. So you notice that it starts with this number that says 03, and you jump 34 ahead, and it begins again at 03. So if I hop in, if I hop every 34 bytes or whatever, and it's gonna go in through each subheader thing. So what we have to do is locate the MIP count, which is this thing here, this thing that's 00000. Okay. I guess that's like, if you're starting from here, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times 4 is 48 bytes down or something like that. Anyway, it's right here. It's probably going to be right before the next entry. Yeah, it is right before the next entry. So we can just keep hopping in segs of 34. This is in hexadecimal, by the way, so that's hexadecimal 34 is actually 52 bytes. Alright, so we're going to skip in 34. Okay, and we're just going to make sure that each 4 bytes here is 000. If it's not, we're going to blank it out. Oops. Alright, so that's it. Of course, anything under here is just empty, so we're done. I just did that for everything because I have no idea where the actual texture is that I edited, so I just nulled everything. It's not going to make much of a difference. So that's it. And then you can save that, I guess. Save, yes. Okay. So that's it. Our mod's pretty much ready. Okay, we can view it in Gnosis. Check it out. Okay, we can tweak it back in MaxScript if we need to, or 3ds Max, sorry. Then when we're all ready, we have to rebuild the 4 package files, I guess, and then put it back into a DLC file. So the hardest part is probably going to be redoing the DLC files. If you go back to here, to beginning, we have to deal with 4 files. Okay, and I'll just quickly go over the 4 files. The BLP is like a descriptor file. It's basically describing all the files in the content package. Okay, this one's important, so we have to edit this one for sure. This other one, the bin file, is actually just a bunch of file names. We really don't need to do that because we're not going to be dealing with complete repacking where we're reordering names. So we're going to just close that one. Don't need to know that one. The BCM, this has something to do with the licensing or has to do with assigning texture slot or model slots. So I don't understand this one yet, so we're just going to close that one. And the LNK is the actual content. This is 15 megabytes, so all the models are inside here. So yeah, so we're just going to be dealing with the 2 here. Okay. First off, I think probably be easier to edit this file first. Okay. Hopefully your editor, you can expand and contract the column width. Okay, so this is the entries of all the files. Okay, this is the header, blah 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 blah. Okay, and then these are the file entries. Okay, so it goes pretty much in this layout. First 8. This is the address of the content. So this address, if you follow it, it brings you to the first file. Ooh. Oh. There, the first file. Okay. And so that's the first field there. The second one is the compressed size and the uncompressed size. You notice that they are the same. It's because this format LNK doesn't deal with the compression and stuff like that. So these 2 sizes will always be the same. So don't worry about that. All right. So these are actually since our files are compressed, these sizes are of the old file which was compressed. So what we have to do is change them to uncompressed. All right. Probably it would be easier to use the BLP to kind of locate your files, I guess. So I guess we'll just edit the BLP first because it'll be easy to work with. So again, I'm going to contract the columns. So let's review the BLP format. The first, I guess, 16 bytes or whatever. This is the header. Okay, so if I delete this, you notice that the listing goes a little more square. Okay, let's just go back here for a sec. So actually, I'm going to delete that so it lines up better. So let's describe an entry for the BLP. We have a string index. This index refers to a file name inside of the executable. Okay, it's basically requesting a file name, and it's going to find it and it's going to load it up. But so don't touch the string indexes here. Don't touch those. The next one is, I believe, the compress size. Okay, and then followed by that is a byte that says E. If it's E, it means it's compressed. If it's 0, it means it's not compressed. Okay, followed by that, I believe this is something to do with the licensing. I don't know. Don't touch that. And then following after that is the uncompressed size. The last one here is the checksum. Okay, Halo Modder fixed the executable for us, so we don't have to worry about correcting checksums. So don't be concerned about that. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to be looking for the uncompressed size in the BLP. So at the top of the TMC will be the header. Blah 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 blah. And then here is the uncompressed size. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the fifth long. So I'm going to search for this value in the BLP, which we'll find. Alright, so this is the uncompressed size. And naturally, the compressed size is this value here. So I'm going to just open a notepad here and jot this stuff down here. So this is TMC, compressed size, and uncompressed size, and TMCL. TCL, okay. Okay, this one, the uncompressed size is located here. It's the second long. Alright. So we're just going to find this in the BLP. Okay, which is the second entry underneath it. No surprise there. Okay, so my convention goes file name there, compressed size, uncompressed size. Okay, so I'm going to undo this because I deleted the header and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go back, and this is really difficult to find now, but I want to find my numbers here. So I'm going to find the compressed size. Oops. Here it is again. And I'm going to overwrite it with the uncompressed size because we're going to be using uncompressed files. Okay, so I'm pasting it as hex. Okay, and the next one under that is the second entry, the second file. Oops, wrong one. Yes, yes. Okay, so once you correct the compressed size to the uncompressed size, you have to remove the flag for compression. And that's it. Your BLP is fixed. Okay, now we're going to hop over to the LNK. Again, hopefully you can expand your columns. Okay, so or explain the format here. So we're just going to replace those compressed sizes with uncompressed sizes. So search up the value there. There we go. There's our file, the TMC. We have to replace it with these sizes. Yep, hex, hex, yes. And same with the second file. Okay, now the last thing we have to do is we've expanded the files inside the LNK, but the files are located in the center of the file, so it's going to cause a file overlap to the files that are underneath it because these are larger now. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually append the new files we have at the end and correct the address. So I'm going to start with the TMC. I'm going to select everything and copy it to the clipboard. Go to LNK, scroll the way down to the bottom, and I'm just going to paste it. Do you want to blah blah blah? Yeah, sure. Increase file size, yeah. Okay, so this blue kind of signifies new data. So I'm just going to highlight this and grab the, oops, wrong one there, the beginning block offset, which is F568, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to add this into here. So that's my new address. And again, we're going to repeat that with the TMC. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to paste that. Increase file size, yes. That begins here. Okay, we're just going to put that there. Okay. Alright, and I'm also going to collect the final size of the file. So I'm just going to use a calculator here, have it on decimal, and the file size here, it says file size, so it's 23258.512. And I'm going to convert it to hex. Okay, and I'm going to go back over here. This is the total file size. So if I go back up to the top, the header file says a bunch of stuff, and then it says the total file size, which was 16 megabytes. It's now 23 megabytes. So I'm going to paste this into, or over top of the funnel size. Do you want to, yeah. Alright, so that's replaced, and now I have to update the addresses for those individual files for the TMC and the TMCL. So these are them there. Paste and paste. Okay, so if I follow this offset, it goes to TMC. Ooh, well, it should have anyway. Yeah, TMC. And if I follow the other one, should bring me to the TMCL. Okay, so that's it. You just basically rebuilt your DLC packages. So remember the save, okay? Because it sucks when you forget the save and you're like, why didn't it work? Okay, so that's it. We're gonna use. Lastly, we're gonna use this file, or not file. We're gonna use this tool from the SDK. It's going to create the new DLC packages for us. Let's see here. I don't think I have a friggin' thing. I don't. Okay, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna do this. I guess I'm gonna open up this thing. Okay. Let's see here. Size 64 by 64. Okay, so for the DLC packages, you just have to make an icon. So I'm just making an icon. So there we go. It's a happy icon. And I'm just gonna save it as PNG. Alright, so now I can close this thing down. Right, so now you can hit new. Okay, what do you want to make? Content package. Hit OK. Then you go through the wizard for a content package. Hit next. Content package name. My mod. Who cares? Project directory. I'm just gonna paste my path into here. Okay, the title ID is I showed it before. It's this thing here. Okay, I'm just gonna paste that into there. Again, that's North American 4B5607DA. Name of the game, whatever. I just type in F for the whatever the heck that thing is. Okay, now you gotta load up your icon you made. So pick up happy there. Okay, game type. It is game content. Right. Hit next. Next and English, yes. Display name. Jib 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 jib. Next, you're done. Alright, so that's it. You just have to right click on content and add content. So we're just going to select our 4 DLC files and import them. And that's pretty much it. You're going to hit install locally, and it's basically going to create a folder in your project directory. And it's going to basically make your DLC for you. The only thing you have to do is you have to use the DLC licenser. I'm not sure how to disable this whole DLC license thing, but for now you have to license the file in order for the content to show up. So to use that, you're going to have to boot up command prompt. Okay, I'm in the D drive right now, so D, and then to switch directories, type in CD space paste enter. Okay, so we can access the tool by just typing in DLC license, press enter. So there's some blah 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 about Microsoft, and it says how to use it. Type in the name, type in some hexadecimal stuff, and then type in the name of your package. So we're going to do that. Alright, so hexadecimal is 0x, then press F 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, space, and then the name of whatever the heck that thing is. Press enter. Done. It says blah blah blah. Applied your stuff, and it's seceded. Okay, so we close that thing down now. Right. Now we can basically upload it. So I believe I already got. Yeah, I do. So just boot up my FPT, and I'm just going to drag it over. Oh, right. Yeah, sure. All right. And so this is usually my setup. I got the SDK neighborhood up, so I can launch my files, and then I usually have FPT up, so I can send files in multiple directories, stuff like that. I usually set this stuff, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I just sent the thing to my directory, which is again HD content. Yeah, you know. And then from here, I'm going to launch the fixed executable. This allows me to launch with checksums disabled, and then we'll just see what's going on in game. Okay, so if there's no problems, your game won't crash. If something crashed or froze, it's probably because you rebuilt the file wrong for whatever reason. Maybe you pasted the wrong size, or you pasted the wrong size in the wrong spot, or something like that. Alright, so just go back and retry it or something. I don't know. Anyway, it should work, and your modifications should show up. So the texture edit and the vertex mod should show correctly. The only thing is, if you forget to nullify the MIP levels, she'll change colors, obviously. So we're just going to zoom up on this so you can see what's going on here. So this is the texture. It actually looks okay, actually. I got no complaints with that. And you can see our vertex mods there. The tail's gone. Well, it's actually still there, but it's bushy. And yeah, so that's it. That's vertex modding and texture editing. Well, it wasn't really much of a nutshell, but yeah, that's basically how you do it all. I'm kind of interested to see what people get out of it. Yeah, well, anyway, I put it out there. I'm still working on how to get meshes into the game, like brand new models. Thing is, I am not a programmer at all, so this is I'm working almost backwards, trying to figure stuff on my own. Nobody else seems to be interested in actually modding the game, let alone being interested in the game. So it's kind of just me going lone wolf on this thing, and like a bunch of perverts just following after me. So anyway, hopefully people can, I don't know, relate with this thing and kind of start doing their own mods, and kind of get away from just removing articles of clothing, which is just kind of basic. But yeah, hopefully with this information out there, some people can start to actually do some mods. Okay. The only thing is, regret that some of the tools require SDK stuff. Okay. It kind of sucks, but if you get your hands on it, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Another thing you guys should know is, no, you know what? I think I'll just end it off at there. Yeah. So. Thanks for watching, and hopefully that gives you guys some insight, and happy modding, I guess. Alright, bye.